Hi everybody, welcome to your everyday math lesson for 513. So today we're going to work again with fractions, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to work on dividing fractions. So as a math teacher, we have to teach so many things so many different ways. And so one of the ways that we teach dividing fractions, I'm going to show you a couple of them in the next couple of days. But I'm going to show you my trick way first. And this is a way that I've used growing up. And this is one of the things that we've done and one of the ways that we teach you. And there's a couple of ways to remember this. So I'm going to teach you a few things. Make sure you're taking notes. When you're dividing fractions, you're going to do a simple thing called keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. 3 steps to multiply or in order to divide by fractions. What that means is, if I'm going to take a fraction, so like 1/3 divided by 1/2, that means I'm going to keep my first fraction. I'm going to change my division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip my second fraction. 2 times 1 is 2, 3 times 1 is 3. I know that's a little tricky. I know it. I get it. That's how you're going to divide fractions, though. Keep, change, flip. So we're going to practice this today, and we're going to do a couple of things. So I want you to remember keep, change, flip. Another math term that you're going to learn is the reciprocal. R-E-C-I-P-R-O-C-A-L. By the way, you might want to write this down because you will need to spell it correctly later in the video. So pause if you need to. When I say reciprocal, what you're going to do when you divide by fractions, one of the ways or methods that you can do this is you multiply by the reciprocal. This is a fancy way, and this is the math term way to say keep, change, flip. So if you're really good at this, and then I say explain to me what you did, you're going to say this. I multiplied by the reciprocal. Period. Done. So write that down. It's very important that you know what that is. Okay? So we're going to be working a lot in our math workbook. I hope that you got that down. Before we do anything else, I want you to tell me what is the rule when dividing by a fraction. Go. All right, you should have said keep, change, flip. Now, we are going to be working in our student math journal, page 188 today. So we're going to start by looking here. It says, for problems number 1 and 2, you're going to write a number model using a letter for the unknown. Solve, showing your solution strategy that representations or drawings. Summarize your work with a division number model. Check your answer using multiplication. And write a number sentence to show how you checked. It's a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff. Make sure you're taking really good notes, okay, guys? All right, so 2 students want to equally share 1/4 of a stick of clay. How much of the stick will each student get? So I know it's division because it's division number problems at the top. So I know I'm going to divide. What am I dividing? Am I chopping up the kids or am I chopping up the clay? Well, the clay. So 1/4 of the stick of clay divided by 2 equals C for clay. That's how we're going to do it. Now, I'm a picture person, so I'm going to draw my picture. Here's my stick of clay. Right now, this is what they have. One student has 1/4. But remember, they're going to split it. They're going to cut it in half. Because I'm going to use this amount, and Mrs. Manning's going to use that amount. So how much of that clay will I get? If this is all I get out of this entire piece of clay, how much of it did I get? Well, that's one piece out of 8 pieces total, so 1/8. My summary number model should be 1/4 divided by 2 equals 1/8. And my my multiplication number model, just to check, should be 1/4, not 1/4, 1/8 times 2 equals 1/4. That is my multiplication number model. I want you to take a minute and write that down. All right, now I'm going to show you the keep, change, flip, the reciprocal way. 1/4 divided by 2 over 1. Remember, a whole number is the number over 1 equals C. Keep your first number. Change your numerator change from division to multiplication. And then flip your numerator and denominator. So right here, my 2 is on top, my 1 is on bottom. It's the opposite. I flipped it. My 1 is on top, 2 is on bottom. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 4 is 8. There are a lot of other steps involved to getting that answer, but this is one easy way. This is the math way. So you could always use this to check your answer. Okay? Let's try the next one. 3 families equally share 1/3 of a community garden space. How much of the community garden space does each family use? I want you to see, can you find the number model? For this one, I have 1/3 of a garden, and I'm dividing it by 3 families, and they will get this much garden left over. Now I'm going to draw my garden. Here's my community garden. They get 1/3, right? Now those 3 families have to split that 1/3. So each family gets 1 out of the total 9. All right, each family gets 1/9 of the garden space. My summary number model, 1/3 divided by 3 equals 1/9. My multiplication number sentence, 1/9 times 3 equals 1/3. All right, here we go. Let's try it. 1/3 divided by 3 over 1. Keep, change, flip. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 is 9. Keep, change, flip. My answer matches. That's what I got. That's what my picture does too. We're right. All right. This one can be kind of tricky. This one says, when you divide a fraction by a whole number greater than 1, is my quotient larger or smaller than the original fraction? So look at what we did. Each of these, we did this problem. We started with a fraction. We divided by a number bigger than 1. Was my answer larger or smaller than the original fraction? Your answer was smaller than the original fraction. Okay. The quotient was smaller than the original fraction because I am dividing it into smaller pieces. As long as you have something close to that, you will be fine. I want you to go ahead and hit pause. I'm going to put something in here. When you are done, you may hit continue. Okay, we're going to look at number 4. It says, try this. Write a number story model for 1/5 divided by 2. So I'm going to use what they were doing up here. So one talked about a garden or clay. So what is something that we can start with a fraction of? Maybe I have 1/5 of a pizza. Okay, and I'm dividing by 2. So maybe I share it with Lincoln. I share it with Lincoln. How much do we each get? Then I'm going to do my math. 1/5 divided by 2. Keep, change, flip. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 5 is 10. So my answer would be 1/10. If I have 1/5 of a pizza and I cut that in half, that means he gets a 10th and I get the 10th. Awesome. There is another part of your video today. We are going to go ahead and do them combined. Right now it's only 11 minutes, so I am going to go ahead and combine it with the next little part of our lesson. So we are going to be working on page 189, so the very next page in your math workbook. If you need to take a break, feel free. You may pause whenever. However, you need to make sure you are finishing this ed puzzle. Here we go. Feeding a blue whale. Blue whales are the largest animals on Earth. A blue whale can grow more than 30 meters in length and can weigh more than 180 metric tons. Despite its enormous size, a blue whale mainly eats shrimp-like animals called krill. This table shows an average the amount of krill eaten by a blue whale during a feeding season. So in Finding Nemo, the whale that comes along and takes Dory and Marlin, that is a blue whale. Remember they say, krill, swim away, swim away. That's what it is. So imagine that whale. You know how big it was. This is how much it eats in a feeding season. So write the data shown in the table as ordered pairs. Plot the points on the grid and connect them with a line. What are my ordered pairs? You know how to do this. Don't forget to write, make sure that you have your parentheses and your comma, or your answer will be wrong. All right, you should have this perfect. We should have 2, 7, 4, 14, and 6, 21. And I'm going to go ahead and plot those points on my graph. So over 2, up 7. Over 4, up 14. Over 6, up 21. Here we go. Now, I am going to use I have a whiteboard here, so I'm going to use that, or maybe I'll use just this little piece of plastic I have. And I'm going to make my line match. 6, 8. Perfect. About right here. Ish. All right. Now, we're going to use this to help answer some questions. So number 1 says, about how many metric tons of krill does a blue whale eat in one day? So I'm going to go over to 1, and I'm going to go right here. It hits right here. About how many metric tons is that? It's not a whole number. All right, your answer should have been about 3.5. All right, about how many metric tons of krill does a blue whale eat in 1 week? So first, think about how many days are in 1 week. There are about 7 days in a week. So I'm going to go right up here to about Hold on, that's 6. I think I drew my number a little off. I did. Give me just a second. All right, I had to adjust a little bit because my line was just a little bit off. All right, so 7 days in 1 week. We're going to go right up here, and it hits right here. But how many tons of krill is that? Your answer should have been about 24 metric tons. And finally, about how many days does it take a blue whale to eat 28 metric tons of krill? So this time, I'm going to go up the side, and I'm going to go until I get to 28. And I'm going to see how long it would take to eat that 28. 8 days. I want you to see if you can figure out how long it would take to eat 10 metric tons. So go up to 10, see where it hits the line, and then go down to find your answer. All right, up to 10, over to my line. It's about right there, and it's about 3 days. About 3 days. There we go. It says, try this. About how many days does it take the blue whale to eat 7,000 kilograms of krill? Refer to the metric system chart to help you. So kilograms, I bet if you look at the very front of your book, right here on the bottom, you're going to see different tons. You see regular tons and things like that, right? But it says metric tons. So that's not going to be in here. For this one, it's actually going to be in your student reference book. Hold that thought. All right, so in our student reference book, again, if you want access to this, it is on the Everyday Math Online, but here you go. We have our metric system with length, area, volume, and mass. So 1 metric ton right here is how many kilograms? 1,000. So how many does it take to get 7,000 kilograms? Well, 7,000 kilograms is the same thing as 7 metric tons. How long did it take to get 7 metric tons? 2 days. 7,000 kilograms is the same as 7 metric tons. All right. That is it for today's lesson. Make sure you have a great day. Try your very, very best on all other assignments. If you have questions, reach out. Bye. Oh, wait, before you leave. When I say keep, change, flip, what is the math vocabulary word for when you flip it? See you later.